Hello and welcome, Firzj here. To those who don't know me, I produce gaming content on this channel and I rarely cover real life topics, but since I moved from Russia, it is now a possibility for me to share something new from an immigrant's perspective. So in this video I just wanted to share with you my immigration struggles while living in Serbia and specifically talk about things from Russia which I still kinda miss because I haven't fully integrated into the new culture just yet. If you haven't seen my previous video where I discuss my progress after 4 months of living here, then please check it out. I'm actually surprised that this video got so many views and many kind people from Serbia welcomed and tried to help me. Hvala braća, vaša zemlja je puna divnih ljudi. Number 1. Russian cuisine. Russian cuisine is definitely what I still miss once I arrived here to Serbia. While the food here is extremely delicious and many dishes are quite common among Slavic countries, I missed a lot of traditional Russian food. I'm talking about pelmeni, chebureki, blini, sauces with different flavors, all sorts of local sausages, boiled smoked kolbasa, vareniki, aka potato dumplings, and buckwheat. You can of course argue that all this food is available here, but I can assure you that foreigners like me couldn't find any of this stuff at the local stores like Maxi, Idea, Univer Export or even Lidl. And even if you find at least some Siberian pelmeni, frozen stuffed blini or vareniki, they taste different and the choice of this cuisine is very limited and expensive, which is understandable. Same applies to buckwheat or what we call grechka in Russian. I have rarely seen buckwheat sold in the shops and in very small amounts, but of course I could easily find it in another healthy or fitness shops like Zdrava Hrana, but this god food still costs quite a fortune here in Serbia. Although I must say that overall the food in Serbia is much more quality than in Russia. I'm talking about ordinary provincial cities like Novosibirsk, Krasnodar or Khabarovsk and not Moscow. Personally, I have never used food delivery and I prefer to go shopping by myself, and I often get the feeling that there is a distinct lack of choice of different foods, sauces, fish, maybe some kinds of dairy products and glazed curd snacks. Especially often I face the problem that some products are simply missing or are more expensive and I have to go to another store and choose only for what is offered. Here you can't come to one store and buy everything you want. You have to go to different stores or plan your grocery consumption for a month in advance, so you don't have to go to a store just for one thing. For example, when I want to buy a bacon flavored mayonnaise, I have to go to Univer Export because other stores simply don't have it, or parboiled rice which costs less in specific stores. These are just some of the examples. Or I could just order everything online and wait for delivery by courier, but I prefer to buy products in person so that I can personally see and touch what I buy. Again, the choice is limited, but the quality is great. Number 2. Digital services. I absolutely miss customer services such as banking, convenient websites and delivery. Although I'm not talking about food deliveries as I've never used them anywhere, I'm talking about ordering things online. If anyone here is from CIS country, you probably heard something about DNS. No, it's not a domain system, it's a Russian retail chain which specializes in selling household appliances and everything related to computers. As an example, here's one story. Back in 2020 I was looking for a cheap and reliable DDR3 memory for my office computer. As usual, I opened their website, found a good memory and ordered it online. Nothing special here, and on the following day I received a message that my order was ready, so instead of sending a courier to my doorstep, I decided to visit the shop myself to pay and get the memory with no queues and no question asked within 1 minute at the checkout. Once I got home and put the RAM in my computer, it surprised me with blue screen. I don't know why it didn't work and I didn't manage to solve this issue. Maybe the board was just faulty, and so I decided to return it to the store. Since hardware parts are considered complex, they require some technical inspection first, but in my case the employees just registered my complaint and took away that RAM. They were ready to give me my money back, but I decided to order another RAM, and guess what, it didn't work either. And on the following day I returned it back. I was thinking all that time that I was some kind of shady customer who tried tried to break stuff and return faulty goods back, but the employees who worked there ensured that this happens time from time, so there was no problem at all. I returned that RAM and got my money back, and all that happened within 3 days. There were no issues, no waiting for your order to be delivered, no issues to receive it, and no issues to change your mind to get the money back. And to be honest, I have never had any trouble with this retail store or the customer support. Speaking of Serbian retail and online shops, well, they are honestly a complete mess, especially if you are not a resident of this country. Here's also one story. While the choice was very limited and pricey, I managed to pick one decent computer case for my hardware parts. I ordered it from Ananas, but specifically from one company that listed their goods on Ananas. So pretty much Ananas has nothing to do with my problem. Anyway, I ordered a computer case with a delivery courier because there were no stores in my city which I could just visit in person and pick my case. I had to wait for my delivery for 2 weeks, and once it arrived I was happy to finally see the case, only to be disappointed minutes later. The case I ordered from the website had nothing to do with what I received inside the box. It was some absolutely generic piece of office junk which could barely fit my GPU or motherboard. The design has nothing close to their image on their website, and the model was different. What's funnier, once I received this case, the listing on their website has changed to the correct model I received. They simply changed the image and changed its description. Of course I wasn't informed about that, so I decided to send a complaint on Ananas and waited for a response. Few days later support replied and told me to wait while they contact their company which sent me this PC case, and I waited 1 week, 2 weeks, and on the 3rd week they finally replied and asked me to provide my bank account to get my money back because the number I sent before is not applicable and they only accept Dina card in their local currency, and they also couldn't return me my money in cash. After that I waited 1 more week for the courier to come and take my order back, and then complete silence. No case, no money, no replies. I was starting to be a little worried about this whole situation, but after 5 more days Ananas returned me my money and didn't apologize at all. So in total I waited for 1 damn month to solve this simple problem with a fucking computer case. Because of that delay I missed my deadlines and it costed me a lot of nerves. Speaking of banks, they are also in the rudimental bureaucratic state. I have no experience with Alta Banka, Raiffeisen Bank or any other banks available here. I'll be talking about the largest operating bank in Serbia, which to my knowledge is owned by the government of Serbia, Poštanska štedionica. This bank is an absolute mess, starting from registering and finishing with their mobile app. This bank asked me to fill tons of papers and then wait for them to review my application for 2 weeks. After that I was asked to receive my identification card, but my debit card was still not ready. What's more important is that they managed to screw up my surname in the card and the papers. They wrote E symbol instead of Y in my surname, and they seem to be okay with this, despite the fact that it's considered as another person already. For some strange reason one employee tried to convince me that there is no Y symbol on his keyboard, but other more intelligent employee found the letter and fixed my application. So because of that minor mistake I had to reapply for my debit card, but first I should receive the faulty version of it, which arrives in 2 more weeks, and only then they can request to print a new card from Belgrade office. Sounds cool, no rush, but this whole process took me like 1 month and several visits to their Poštanska branch. But brace for more, it's not over yet. I haven't talked about their mobile app, which from design's perspective is stuck in the 90s and it looks like you used a time machine on your smartphone. What's more funny, Banka Poštanska even charged you some money for opening mobile banking. Thank you so much. I hope these fees would reach a designer to remake this whole app, not the president of the company, right? Anyway, aside from fees and its design, the functionality is also very limited. You can check your balance, check your transactions up to 30 days and change app language, and that is it. There is nothing else to see here. No cashbacks, no detailed stats, no discounts, nothing. But you know what pains me while using this app? The login procedure. The employee gave me the login and password to my account and everything was fine till one day they decided to update their mobile application. I received an SMS stating that I must delete their application from my phone, download a new one, go to their website through the link provided from the SMS, request data for my account, create a new password aka PIN code and enter it in my phone. Just why? Why should I do that? I'm a customer of your bank, I pay you money and you should keep my money safe. So do it yourself, I'm busy. But at least I'm grateful that they opened bank accounts for non-residents. Honestly, I could open 30 bank accounts by that time if I was in Russia. Believe me or not, I could just fill an application on the website. At least this applies to Tinkoff Bank, one of the best online banks in Russia. And I'm not exaggerating. And on the following day, a courier would arrive, deliver me this card with my name on it, take a photo of me as a proof that I'm the new owner, receive this card and sign a contract with the bank. Nothing else, no queues, no waiting, no maintenance fees, absolutely nothing. I don't know much about Sberbank, but few years back I could just visit their branch and open a bank account and receive a card within a week in the envelope. Clearly Serbian digital services need more digitalization, work more on customer service and to make the process more intuitive, faster and more reliable. But as a side note, I can confidently say that despite all these inconveniences, everyone I came into contact with was very friendly and helpful. No bureaucracy, just very long waits. Number 3. Goods and prices. There is no secret that the prices in Serbia are higher than in Russia. It is not even hard to find some of the examples. Wired internet is much more expensive in Serbia, same applies to utility bills, especially heating, which you still have to pay even when it's summer season. Some food is also much more expensive than in Russia. Perhaps those who live in Moscow will say that the prices are identical, but if you compare provincial cities, the difference is significant. And I'm talking about the basics: rice, potatoes, tomatoes, noodles, chicken fillet, minced meat, butter, eggs or mayonnaise. The quality is of course superior, but the prices are not pleasant. Speaking of other goods like hardware parts, smartphones or laptops, the choice is very limited and the prices are ridiculously high. Even buying the simplest things like computer case or budget smartphone costs a fortune here. For the same money I could definitely buy something better with a wider range of variety, even despite the fact that Russia is under sanctions. Here's one small example. I've purchased fitness tracker Smart Band 7 on the initial release in 2022 in Russia for 10k rubles, which equals 3.5k dinar given to the bad exchange rate. How much does it cost to buy these trackers in Serbia? From 5 to 12k dinar? Seriously? And this applies to almost anything. Of course, if I had a local job in this country, maybe I would earn more and it wouldn't seem too significant. To be honest, I don't know how much money the locals in Serbia earn, but according to many rumors and Numbeo website, the salaries here are clearly not very good, and given the high cost of rent and real estate, it can hardly be called a comfortable standard of living. But maybe I'm wrong. I can still see that many people can afford visiting restaurants and cafes, riding a bicycle or a car, going to the clubs, and just having fun on the streets at 2 in the morning. And that is all I wanted to share with you. All that I've mentioned before doesn't mean that this country is bad and I should return home. Absolutely not. It's just different and it takes time to adapt to new life, especially when you have no friends, no job and no language experience in a new country. Here I just shared my thoughts and experience in Serbia, so if you have other stories you can share them too in the comments below or provide me some piece of advice. If you like this video, feel free to support me. Thank you for watching and listening, have a nice day and stay safe.